Lost Horizon. The novel by James Hilton. Dramatised for radio in 3 parts by Barry Campbell. Starring Derek Jacobi as Hugh Conway. Episode 1. The Kidnapping.
Cigars had burnt low, and we were beginning to sample the disillusionment that usually afflicts old school friends who meet again as men and find themselves with less in common than they used to think. Rutherford wrote novels. Wyland was one of the embassy secretaries. He'd just given us dinner at Templehof. Not very cheerfully, I fancied, but with the equanimity which a diplomat must always keep on tap for such occasions. That evening in Berlin in 1932, however, was far from dull. We had a good view of the big Lufthansa machines as they arrived at the aerodrome from all parts of Central Europe. And towards dusk, when arc flares were lighted, the scene took on a rich, theatrical brilliance.
As I see it, the Weimar economic policy deliberately kept unemployment high and thereby encouraged the political extremists. Just look at the way the National Socialists rose to power. In 1928, they only had 12 deputies in the Reichstag. 3 years later, they had 107. Now they rule the roost.
And you see that as a bad thing, do you, Rutherford? I ask,
yes,
because
I do. I see Herr Hitler as a damn bad thing.
Perhaps it would be as well if we changed the subject. I thought it was only we diplomats who always talk politics. Anyway, this is supposed to be a reunion, not a discussion group.
The writers are as bad as diplomats, if not worse, Wyland. After all, they have the ability to criticize without accepting any of the responsibility.
Oh, no, that's just not fair, Hilton. Why, if the politicians and diplomats would only listen to us...
Why, Wyland, you're doing yourself proud.
I'm awfully sorry. Oh, good Lord. It's Nigel Sanders. I didn't recognise you in your flying gear. It's hard to tell one of you chaps from another when you're dressed like that.
Oh, I know that well enough. Don't forget, I was at Baskul.
Quite. Well, do sit down and join us in a drink. Hilton, Rutherford, Nigel Sanders, flying time.
How do you do?
How do you do?
That's right. Pull up a chair, brandy suit you?
Oh, rather. Thank you.
I say, isn't that Teddy Jerningham?
What?
Over there?
Oh, yes.
Would you excuse me for a moment? I must have a word.
Yes, by all means. By the way, you mentioned Baskul just now. I know the place slightly. What exactly happened there?
Oh, just a bit of excitement we once had when I was in the service. The fact is, an Afghan or an Afridi or somebody ran off with one of our planes. There was the very devil to pay afterwards, as you can imagine. Most impudent thing I ever heard of.
Why? How did it happen?
Well, the blighter waylaid the pilot, knocked him out, pinched his kit and climbed into the cockpit without even a soul spotting him.
How did he manage to fly the thing?
Very well, apparently. Gave the mechanics the proper signals and was up and away in fine style.
Oh. When did this happen?
Oh, must have been about a year ago. May 31. We were evacuating civilians from Baskul to Peshawar after the revolution there. Place was in a bit of an upset, or I don't suppose the thing could have happened. Still, it did happen. And it goes some way to show that clothes make the man, doesn't it?
Yes.
I should have thought you'd have had more than one fellow in charge of a plane on an occasion like that.
That's quite.
Oh, we did on all the ordinary troop carriers. But this particular machine was a special one. The Indian survey people had been using it for high-altitude flights in Kashmir.
And it never reached Peshawar.
Never reached there, and never came down anywhere else, so far as we could discover. That was the queer part about it. Of course, if the fellow was a tribesman, he might have made for the hills, thinking to hold the passengers to ransom.
Passengers?
Yes, but there were 4. 3 men and a woman. She was a missionary, I think. I suppose they all got killed somehow. There are heaps of places on the frontier where you might crash and not be heard of afterwards.
Tell me, was one of the men on that plane, by any chance, named Conway?
What? Yes, as a matter of fact. Glory Conway. Did you know?
Rather. We were all at school together.
Yes. He was a jolly fine chap, by all accounts of what he did at Baskul.
Oh, yes, undoubtedly. But how extraordinary. Extraordinary.
Sorry?
But I don't remember the affair being reported in the papers. How was that?
Well, to tell the truth, I seem to have let out more than I should have. Or perhaps it doesn't matter now. Must be stale news in every mess, let alone in the bazaars. It was all hushed up, you see, about the way the thing happened. The government people merely gave out that one of their machines was missing and mentioned the names of the passengers. Sort of thing that didn't attract a lot of attention among outsiders.
Sorry to be so long. Has Sanders been drawing the longbow? These flying types, you know.
Actually, Wyland, these chaps have been talking about Glory Conway. I'm afraid I spilled the Baskul yarn.
Oh. I can't help feeling that it's a pity to make a mere anecdote of it. I always thought you air fellows were put on your honour not to tell tales out of school. Of course, it's all right where you chaps are concerned, but I'm sure you realise that it's sometimes necessary for events up on the frontier to be shrouded in a little mystery.
Yes, but on the other hand, one has a curious itch to know the truth.
It was never concealed from anyone who had any real reason for wanting to know it. Conway, eh? Have you seen much of him since school, Hilton?
No, we rather lost touch.
What about you, Rutherford?
Just a little. At Oxford. A few chance meetings since. Did you come across him much?
Once or twice when I was stationed at Angora.
Did you like him?
Like? I thought he was clever, but rather slack.
He's certainly clever. Had a most exciting university career until the war broke out. Rowing blue, leading light at the Union, and so forth. Also, I reckon him the best amateur pianist I ever heard. Yet, in point of fact, one never heard much about him after those Oxford days. Of course, the war cut into his career.
No, I understand he was blown up or something of the sort. Nothing very serious.
Didn't he get a DSO in France?
Yes, I believe he did.
Well.
And then he went back to Oxford for a spell as a sort of don.
I know he went east in 21. His Oriental languages got him the job without any of the usual preliminaries. He had several posts.
Of course, that accounts for everything. History will never disclose the amount of sheer brilliance wasted in the routine of decoding Foreign Office chits and hanging around at legation bun fights.
He was in the consular service, not the diplomatic.
Well, I must be off. Nice talking to you fellows.
Oh,
Yes, a nice meeting.
goodbye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
I must take my leave, too. I'm afraid I'm catching the Ostend Express at a very dismal hour in the morning.
My hotel is just around the corner. Why not come back and have a quiet drink in my sitting room until it's time for you to catch your train?
Well, that's very decent of you. Thank you, I will.
Well, good night, Wyland, old man.
Good night. Great pleasure to see you.
Thank you for a most excellent dinner.
Indeed, most excellent.
Not at all, but let me see you fellows to the door.
If I'm honest, I can't say I care much for Wyland.
What?
Or rather, I can't stand his type. All that primness and mountainous self-importance.
He is somewhat pompous.
Pompous. All that business of putting people on their honour and telling tales out of school. As if the Bally Empire was the fifth form at St. Dominic's.
Yes.
Yes. But then I always fall foul of these Saab diplomats. Still, I wouldn't have missed this evening. It was a peculiar experience for me, hearing Sanders tell that story about the affair at Baskul. You see, I'd heard it before.
Oh?
I hadn't properly believed it. It was all part of a very much more fantastic story, which I saw no reason to believe at all.
Really? But tell me more about Conway.
Well, he was always very decent to me at school. As you know, I like him a good deal, although I've seen surprisingly little of him, if you measure it in time.
Why did they call him Glory Conway? I never knew. He left at the end of my first term, and I never met him afterwards.
That's nothing, really. He was tall, good-looking, and not only excellent at games, but walked off with every conceivable school prize. Well, that rather sentimental headmaster once referred to his exploits as glorious, hence the nickname.
I see.
Ah, here we are. Excuse me, while I get my key.
Of course.
24, bitte.
24. Yeah. Good enough, Mina.
Good enough. This way, Hilton. Help yourself to soda.
Thank you. I noticed that whereas Sanders spoke of Conway in the past tense, you spoke of him in the present. I like him a good deal, you said. I find that rather odd.
I wondered if you'd noticed. Well, the fact is, Conway isn't dead.
Not dead? But how can you possibly know that?
Because I travelled with him from Shanghai to Honolulu in a Japanese liner last November.
Good Lord.
Yes, it's a strange story. I dare say you can guess I'm not a particularly gullible person. I've spent a good deal of my life travelling about, and I know there are queer things in the world. And yet... well, one thing's certain. I'm not likely to take Wyland into my confidence. Be like trying to sell an epic poem to Titbits. I'd rather try my luck with you.
You flatter me.
Your book doesn't lead me to think so.
Now I am flattered. After all, it's only a minor work on neurology.
Well, you see, I was interested because amnesia was Conway's trouble at one time.
Really?
Here, let me help you to a spot more whiskey.
Thank you.
And I'll tell you all about it.
Just a drop, thank you.
Well, you see, I was in China in the autumn, on holiday. I'm always wandering about. I hadn't seen Conway for years. We never corresponded, and I can't say he was often in my thoughts. Well, to cut a long story short, I landed up at the mission hospital at Chungkiang. I remember there was a very charming Mother Superior and a Chinese doctor who was most interested to learn that I was a writer.
You are perhaps to put our mission in one of your books. I must be most careful what I say.
Don't worry. I shan't criticize you if I do. I've seldom seen a cleaner or better-ordered hospital.
Oh, you are most kind to say so. But I have something you may wish to write about. We have a mysterious Englishman here at the mission.
An Englishman? Really?
You are interested. A fever case brought in 2 or 3 weeks past. I say mysterious Englishman, but that is only assumption, for he could give no account of himself, and he had no papers.
But his clothes?
He wore native clothes, of the very poorest kind, and when taken in by the nuns, he had been very ill indeed. He spoke fluent Chinese, pretty good French, but the Mother Superior assures me that before he realized the nationality of nuns, he also addressed them in English, with most refined accent.
And the Mother Superior would recognize a refined English accent?
Oh, yes, indeed. You are skeptical. Very well. You must judge for yourself. Come, follow me. In this next bed. He appears to be asleep. A pity,
No,
perhaps.
he's waking up, I think. Yes. Good afternoon.
Oh, good afternoon.
God! Conway!
But you know this man?
Well, indeed I do. He's a friend of mine. Well, Conway, what a place to meet.
I'm very sorry, but...
You must realize that he has completely lost his memory.
So it would appear. But look here. I think I can be of some use. If possible, I should like to stay here for a little while. Perhaps I can help him remember things.
Well, that could only be beneficial, I'm sure.
And then perhaps when he regains his physical strength, I might travel with him. Who knows? Anyway, I should certainly like to stay and try to help the poor fellow.
I am delighted. I will make the necessary arrangements.
As Conway's health improved, we talked a good deal. When I told him, quite frankly, who I was and who he was docile enough not to argue about it. He even seemed glad of my company.
I'm sure.
When I suggested that I should take him home, he simply said he didn't mind.
And did you bring him home?
I was coming to that.
Ah.
Well, we made our exit from China in quite a normal way. We sailed down the Yangtze to Nanking and then took a train for Shanghai. There was a Jap liner leaving for Frisco that same night, so we made a great rush and got on board.
You did a tremendous lot for him.
I don't think I should have done quite so much for anyone else. But there was something about the fellow. Always had been. It's hard to explain, but it made one enjoy doing what one could.
Yes. He had a peculiar charm. Although, of course, I still think of him as a schoolboy in cricket flannels.
Pity you didn't know him at Oxford. He was just brilliant. The kind of fellow one feels that Jowett would have tipped for a future premier. I think the war changed him a lot. People said he was different after the war. I think myself he was.
In what way?
I don't quite know. But I can't help feeling that with all his gifts, he ought to be doing bigger work. All that Britannic Majesty stuff isn't my idea of a great man's career. And Conway was. Or should have been. Great.
I agree.
Now, you and I have both known him. And I don't think I'm exaggerating when I say it's an experience we shan't ever forget. And even when he and I met in the middle of China, with his mind a blank and his past a mystery, there was still that strange core of attractiveness in him. Yeah, but I was telling you about our journey together. As you can imagine, we remade our old friendship on the boat. I told him as much as I knew about himself, and he listened with an attention that might almost have seemed a little absurd.
Did his memory return?
That was the odd thing. He remembered everything quite clearly since his arrival at the Chungkyang mission. But, and this will interest you, he hadn't forgotten languages. He told me, for instance, that he must have had something to do with India because he could speak Hindustani.
How did he know it was Hindustani?
I never thought to ask. Well, now we come to another curious thing. At Yokohama, the ship filled up, and among the new passengers was Sieve King, the concert pianist. A few nights after leaving Japan, Sieve King was prevailed upon to give a piano recital on board. Of course, Conway and I went along to hear him.
Ladies and gentlemen, I feel sure that you would all like me to thank Mr. Andre Siebeking on your behalf for the truly wonderful recita which he has so kindly given us tonight. Thank you.
Well, I must say that was first class. Don't you agree? Conway? Conway?
What? Oh, sorry, did you speak?
Yes, I was saying how well Siebeking played tonight.
Oh, yes, extremely well. Excuse me, one moment, will you?
I said, Conway, are you all right?
Yes, perfectly. But please, stay there.
Well, sir, I hope you'll agree that we have been most royally entertained this evening.
Yes, indeed. A first-rate recital. Allow me to introduce myself. My name's Rutherford, Simon Rutherford.
Hey, say, what's this, an encore?
Who is that chap? Bit of a cheek following Siebeking like that.
Well, he plays well, though. Do you know him?
Good Lord, it's Conway. Excuse me. Conway, what the devil? Mr. Siebeking, please accept my apologies. My friend is unwell.
Please, don't apologize. This is excellent. Bravo! But I'm afraid I didn't recognize the work, although it does seem vaguely familiar. What is it called?
I'm afraid I don't know.
Don't know? Well, surely it wasn't an improvisation.
No, of course not. I have it now. It was Chopin Polonaise.
Oh, really?
It's a Chopin Polonaise, I tell you. Listen.
My dear fellow, I know everything of Chopin's that exists, and I can assure you he never wrote the work that you have just played.
Damn it, I tell you, it's a Chopin Polonaise.
Steady,
I will
Conway.
agree that it is utterly in his style, but I challenge you to show me the score in any of the editions.
Are you suggesting that I'm lying? Oh, yes, I remember now. Sorry, it was never printed.
Never printed? Then how on earth did you come to learn it?
From meeting a man who used to be one of Chopin's pupils.
Oh, but that's quite
Excuse
impossible.
me, butting in, gentlemen. My name's Kornblatt, Newberg Kornblatt, University of California. I couldn't help overhearing your conversation. What you're saying, sir, is chronologically impossible, or almost.
I assure you, sir, I'm telling the truth.
Oh, I didn't mean to
What
say...
I have just played is an unpublished Chopin Polonaise.
This is all very puzzling. If that piece were to be published, it would be in every virtuoso's repertoire within 6 months.
Listen to this. It's another unpublished piece I learned from the same chap.
I don't know if you're interested in music, Hilton, but even if you're not, I dare say you will be able to imagine something of Sieveking's excitement as Conway continued to play.
Yes, indeed.
To me, of course, it was a sudden and quite mystifying glimpse into Conway's past, the first clue, as it were. Sieveking was naturally engrossed in the musical problem, which was perplexing enough, as you'll realize when I tell you that Chopin died in 1849.
Good Lord.
The whole incident was unfathomable. Anyhow, after a great deal of argument, nothing was settled, for Conway stuck to his story. And as he was beginning to look fatigued, I was anxious to get him away from the crowd and off to bed. Seif King said that he would arrange for Conway to play both pieces before a microphone. I often feel it was a great pity that he never did.
Why especially?
Because that night he got back his memory.
But how on earth?
We had both turned in, and I was lying awake when he came into my cabin and told me. His face had stiffened into what I can only describe as an expression of overwhelming sadness. He said he could call to mind everything, that it had begun to come back to him during Seif King's playing, though only sketchily at first. And he sat for a long while on the edge of my bunk.
And then?
Well, of course, I said I was glad his memory had returned, but sorry if he already wished it hadn't. He looked up then and paid me what I shall always regard as a marvellously high compliment.
Yes?
Thank God, Rutherford, he said, that you are capable of imagining things. Then, after a while, we dressed and went on deck. It was a calm, starry night, very warm. I let Conway go his own way without questions at first. Somewhere about dawn he began to talk consecutively, and it was mid-morning and hot sunshine when he'd finished. He was very unhappy and couldn't have slept, so we talked almost constantly. About the middle of the following night the ship was due to reach Honolulu. We had drinks in my cabin the evening before. He left me about 10 o'clock. I never saw him again.
You don't mean...
Lord, no. He wasn't that sort. He just gave me the slip. Afterwards, I learned that he had managed to join the crew of a banana boat going south to Fiji.
How did you get to know that?
He wrote to me 3 months later from Bangkok, enclosing a draft to cover the expenses I had been put to on his account.
Generous.
He thanked me, said he was very fit, and that he was about to set out on a long journey to the northwest. That was all.
Where did he mean?
Yes. It's pretty vague, isn't it? A good many places must lie to the northwest of Bangkok.
Berlin does, for one.
So it does. But your glass is empty.
Just a small one, thank you. Thank you. It's certainly an odd story. But the part that interests me is...
I know. Just how did he get to the mission at Chungkiang?
Well, how did he get to Chungkiang? He must have told you that night on the ship.
He told me something about it. And it would be absurd of me, after telling you so much, to be secretive about the rest of it. But it's a longish tale, and there wouldn't be time to tell it before you have to be off to catch your train.
Oh, that's a great pity.
Besides, as it happens, there's a more convenient way.
Huh?
I am a little diffident about revealing the tricks of my dishonourable calling. But the truth is, Conway's story appealed to me enormously. I began by making simple notes. And then, as certain aspects of the thing began to grip me, I fashioned my notes and recollected fragments into a single narrative. I take it and read it. You can make of it what you like.
By which I suppose you mean that I'm not expected to believe it.
Hardly as definite a warning as that. But mind, if you do believe it, it will be for Tertullian's famous reason. You remember?
Credo quia impossibile.
Not a bad argument, maybe. Let me know what you think, at all events.
I took the manuscript away with me and read most of it on the Ostend Express. Before I could return it, I received a short note from Rutherford to say that he was off on his wanderings again. He was going to Kashmir, he wrote, and thence east. I was not surprised. As for the manuscript, the story it contained was incredible. And reading it in the early morning darkness as my train sped across Europe, I was reminded again and again of Tertullian's phrase, "I believe because it is impossible." During the third week in May, the situation in Baskul had become much worse. And on the 20th, the Air Force machines arrived by arrangement from Peshawar to evacuate the white residents across the mountains in troop carriers. Miscellaneous aircraft were also employed, among them a cabin machine lent by the Maharajah of Chandapore.
Well, it appears that you four are in luck. First-class luxury travel. You've drawn the Maharaja's liner, no less. Jolly good. Now, if I can just have a note of your names for the records, have to make sure no one gets left behind and so forth. Let's start with the lady, shall we?
Roberta Brinklow of the Eastern Mission.
Brinklow?
Henry D. Barnard of the United States of America.
Was that D or E?
D.
Oh, thank you.
Captain Charles Mallinson, HM Vice-Consul.
And Hugh Conway, HM Consul.
I'm very proud to meet you, sir. Very proud.
Thank you for getting us all away in such good order.
All in a day's work, sir. Now, if you'll follow me, I'll get you safely stowed aboard.
Will you be flying us out yourself?
No, worse luck. Chap from the field called Fenner will take you out in about 10 minutes' time.
Charlie Fenner? I know him.
Yes, that's a chap. All be pals together. Have you got your gear?
Yes.
Right, now, if you'll just follow me, please. Say, Conway. I thought Fenner was piloting us.
Well, isn't he?
Well, the pilot chap turned his head just now, and I'll swear it wasn't Fenner.
Well, it's hard to tell through the glass panel.
I know Fenner's face anywhere.
Well, then it must be somebody else. I don't see that it matters.
But that Air Force fellow said Fenner was to be our pilot.
Well, they must have changed their minds.
Well, who is this man, then?
My dear boy, how should I know? Now, when we arrive at Peshawar, you can make his acquaintance and you can ask him all about himself.
At this rate, we shan't get to Peshawar at all. The man's right off his course.
What's that you say?
He's off course. I'm not surprised either, flying so damned high. You can't see where he is.
We certainly are high.
I shouldn't worry about it. He's bound to have a good reason for it.
What time is it? At this rate, there'll hardly be time for a drink at the club when we land.
Don't be too sure. We're going down now.
My God, look down there. This isn't Peshawar.
No, I didn't recognize this part of the world. It looks as if you're right. This man's lost his way. It's getting rough. You all right, Miss Brinklow?
Thank you, I'm quite all right.
Looks like he wants to land.
He can't. He'd be simply mad if he tried to. He'll crash.
Hold tight, all of you.
That was touch and go.
Is everyone all right?
Yes, thank you.
Where do you suppose we are?
It's typical frontier country by the look of it.
Well, what the devil?
Look out there. Tribesmen, hundreds of them.
They're surrounding the plane.
Where's the pilot off to?
I do hope nothing happens to him.
Certainly knows how to fly a plane.
I'm going to find out what's going on. It's no good. They won't let us out.
You suppose that...
It's all right, all right. Look, they're bringing up cans of petrol. We've simply stopped for refueling.
Well, that's a relief. For a moment there, I thought it was all up with us.
And look there. I was right. That chap's not Fenner. Why, I don't believe he's even a European. If you ask me, this is all a bit fishy. What shall we do?
Well, what can we do? We have no firearms of any sort. Even if we had, we're outnumbered 50-1. We'll just have to sit here and make the best of it.
It's getting mighty hot in here.
Isn't it? What I wouldn't give for a nice long drink.
Can't we open the door? Just a bit.
No good, they won't let us.
Well, the pilot's climbing back into the cockpit.
Hi, look out.
What?
That fell at the window.
Oh, no, it's all right. They're only handing something in.
Careful. What is it?
It's a can of water. It's tepid, but drinkable.
Oh, well, that's something.
We're taking off.
So we are. Where to now, I wonder?
Well, at least it's cooler now.
You know, I've been giving the matter some thought, and I think I've got the answer.
Which is?
We're being kidnapped for ransom.
You don't say.
Good gracious!
Nothing to worry about there, Miss Brinklow. The tribesmen keep you hidden away in some lair in the mountains until the government pays up, and then you're released. They treat one quite decently, I believe. And since the ransom money is paid by the government, you're no worse off. The whole business is only unpleasant while it lasts. Afterwards, the air people send a bombing squadron, and you're left with a good story to tell for the rest of your life.
Well, I dare say it's a cute idea on somebody's part, but I can't exactly say that your Air Force has covered itself with glory. You Britishers make jokes about the hold-ups in Chicago and all that, but I don't recollect any instance of a gunman running off with one of Uncle Sam's aeroplanes.
I wonder what happened to the real pilot, old Fenner.
They sandbagged him, I should reckon.
Look here, I want all of you to go through your pockets and bags and let me have any blank scraps of paper you can find.
What for, Mr. Conway?
Well, if we have been kidnapped, and it seems very likely that we have, I intend to write SOS messages in several languages and then drop them out of the plane at intervals.
Oh. First-class idea.
It's a very slender chance, but it's worth a try, I'm sure.
Okay, let's get to work. Gosh, I'm tired. Conway's fallen asleep already.
I don't wonder at it after these last few weeks.
You his friend?
I worked with him at the consulate. I happen to know that he hasn't been to bed for the last 4 nights. As a matter of fact, we're very lucky having him with us in a tight corner like this. Apart from knowing the languages, he's got a sort of way with him in dealing with people. If anyone can get us out of this mess, he can.
Well, let him have his sleep then.
I think he looks a very brave man.
Say, you've been glued to that window all afternoon, young fella. What can you see down there that's so darn interesting?
Nothing. Nothing at all. It's all so misty.
No, I think we're flying too high to get a clear sighting of anything below.
You're still travelling east, though, I'm sure of that.
Well, we seem to be in a fix, Miss Brinklow. But I'm glad you're taking it so calmly. I don't really think anything dreadful is going to happen to us.
I'm certain it won't if you can prevent it.
Yeah, quite. But you must let me know if there's anything we can do to make you more comfortable.
Comfortable? Why, of course we're comfortable. We're just enjoying the trip. Pity we haven't got a pack of cards. We could make up a bridge for.
But I don't suppose Miss Brinklow plays.
Indeed I do. I see no harm whatever in playing cards. There's nothing against them in the Bible, you know.
This is all very well, but are we going to sit here twiddling our thumbs while this maniac flying us does everything he damn well wants? What's to stop us smashing that panel and having it out with him?
Nothing at all, except that he's armed and we're not. In any case, none of us would know how to bring this machine back to Earth afterwards.
It can't be very hard, surely. I dare say you could do it.
My dear Mallinson, why is it always me you expect to perform these miracles?
Well, anyway, this business is beginning to get on my nerves. Can't we make the fellow take us down?
Now, how do you suggest it should be done?
Well, he's there, isn't he? About 6 feet away from us, and we're 3 to 1. At least we might force him to tell us what the game is.
Very well. We'll see. Let me get by. Thank you. Hello there. What's going on?
Look out! He's pointing his revolver.
It's bluff. He wouldn't dare shoot.
If you don't mind, I'd rather leave you to make sure.
Well, I do feel we ought to put up some sort of fight.
Putting up a fight without a decent chance of winning is a poor game, and I'm not that sort of hero.
Good for you, sir. When someone's got you by the short hairs, you may as well give in pleasantly and admit it. For my part, I'm going to enjoy a cigar. I hope you don't think a little extra danger matters to us.
No, not at all, but I think it might bother Miss Brinklow.
Pardon me, madam, but do you object to my smoking?
Not at all. I enjoy the smell of a cigar.
Ah, well, a cigarette, Mallinson.
No, thank you.
Look, old chap, I know how you feel. It's a bad lookout. And it's all the worse in some ways, because there isn't much we can do about it.
I wonder where we are.
I should imagine we're still in India.
You recognize where we are then?
Well, no, I've never been anywhere near here before, but I wouldn't be surprised if that mountain there isn't Nanga Parbat, the one Mummery lost his life on in 65. The structure and general layout seems in accord with all I've heard about it.
You a mountaineer yourself?
In my younger days, I was keen. Only the usual Swiss clubs, of course.
There'd be more point in discussing where we're going to.
Wish to God somebody could tell us.
Looks to me as if we're heading for that range yonder. Don't you agree?
Certainly. And I think that range must be the Karakorums. There are several passes if our man intends to cross them.
Our man? You mean our maniac? I reckon it's time we dropped the kidnapping theory. We're far past the frontier now, and there aren't any tribes living round here. The only explanation I can think of is that this fellow's a raving lunatic. Would anybody but a lunatic fly into this sort of country?
I know that nobody but a damn fine Emma would.
I agree.
I never was any good at geography, but I understand that these are reputed to be the highest mountains in the world, and if that's so, it's a pretty first-class performance to cross them.
And also the will of God.
You're quite right, Barnard. This affair grows more and more remarkable.
Remarkable or not, I don't feel inclined to propose a vote of thanks because the fellow happens to be a stunt flyer. Even if he is, he can be just as much a lunatic.
Very well organized lunacy, though, wouldn't you say? Don't forget that landing for petrol. Also that this machine was the only one at the airfield that could climb to this sort of height.
That doesn't prove he isn't mad. He may have been mad enough to arrange the whole thing.
Of course, that is possible.
Well then, what we've got to do is to decide on a plan of action. What are we going to do when he lands? If he doesn't crash and kill us all, that is. What are we going to do? Rush forward and congratulate him on his marvellous flight, I suppose?
Not on your life. I'll leave you to do all the rushing forward. It's getting mighty cold. Full moon out there. I wonder how far we've traveled.
Anything up to 1,000 miles, I should say.
Where would that bring us to?
It's not easy to judge, but probably some part of Tibet. If these are the Karakorums, Tibet lies just beyond one of those crests. One of them must be K2.
Next on the list after Everest. Boy, this is some scenery.
And from a climber's point of view, K2 is much stiffer than Everest. The Duke of Abruzzi gave it up as an absolutely impossible peak.
God!
I guess you must be the official guide on this trip, Conway. Boy, if I had a flask of cognac, I wouldn't care if it was Tibet or Tennessee.
But what are we going to do about it? I just don't see how you can sit there and make jokes about it.
Well, it's as good as making a scene about it, young fella.
As you haven't asked my opinion, perhaps I oughtn't to give it, but I should like to say that I agree with Mr. Mallinson. I'm sure the poor man can't be quite right in the head. The pilot, I mean, of course. There would be no excuse for him anyhow, even if he were not mad.
Hold on!
Do you know, this is my first trip in the air, my very first. Nothing would ever induce me to do it before, though a friend of mine tried her very best to persuade me to fly from London to Paris.
And now you're flying from India to Tibet instead. Well, that's the way things happen.
I knew a missionary once who'd been in Tibet. He said the Tibetans are very odd people. They believe we are descended from monkeys.
That's remarkably cute of them.
Oh, dear, no, I don't mean in the modern way. They've had the belief for hundreds of years. Of course, I'm all against it myself, and I think Darwin was worse than any Tibetan.
Fundamentalist, I suppose.
I used to belong to the LMS, but I disagreed with them about infant baptism.
But what can the London, Midland and Scottish Railway...
London Missionary Society.
Oh, sorry, I thought it was...
What's happened? My God, we're going down.
It's all right. It's all right. He's going to land. Hold tight, everybody. We're landing. Hold on! Is everyone all right?
I think so.
Quite all right.
Just a bruise or two. I'm going to open the door.
Careful now.
No need to be careful. This looks like the end of the world.
What can you see?
Not much. There's not a soul about, anyhow.
Hold on. We'll go out together. It's all right. Jump down.
God, it's cold.
It's all right, Barnard.
Okay.
Help Miss Brinklow down, will you?
I'm not scared of that fellow on land, whoever he is. I'm going to tackle him right away.
Mallinson, be careful.
All right, ma'am.
Yes, thank you.
What's happening?
I say, Conway!
What?
I think this fellow's ill, or dead, or something.
Hang on, I'll come up and have a look.
I can't get a word out of him.
Here, let me see. Yes, he doesn't look too good, does he?
I've got his revolver at any rate.
Better give that to me. It's difficult to see exactly what's happened.
I've got some matches, but in his
No,
window...
for God's sake, don't strike a match. Can't you smell the petrol? Here, give me a hand to get him out of the cockpit. Lay him down. Careful now.
Here, let me help.
What has happened to him? Poor fellow.
He's unconscious, but not dead. It's possibly a heart attack, brought on by the high altitude. Well, we can't do much for him out here. There's no shelter from this infernal wind. Better get him inside the cabin. And ourselves, too. We haven't the least idea where we are, so it's hopeless to make a move before daylight. Now, all of you, help me lift him up. Ready? Lift.
How is he now?
His heart's very faint.
I wonder if this would be of any use to the poor man. Of course, I never touch a drop myself, but I always carry it with me in case of accidents. And this is the sort of accident.
I should say it is. Brandy. Brandy, by God. Just the stuff for him, thanks. Mallinson, I should think it's safe to light that match now. Let's have a look at him.
Right here. He isn't much of a beauty, is he? Chinese, I should say, if he's anything at all. I say, what a lot of damn fools we look, striking matches over a corpse.
He's not a corpse yet. Now, with a bit of luck, we may bring him round.
Luck? It'll be his luck, not ours.
Don't be too sure, and shut up for the time being, anyhow. Now, listen. I'll sit up with this fellow, and I suggest that the rest of you try to get some sleep.
Bleak, isn't it?
Bleak but magnificent. Just look at that mountain in the sunrise. Quite perfect.
Any idea where we are?
At a guess, I should say we've reached the loftiest and least hospitable part of the Earth's surface.
That bad, huh? Well, what are we going to do?
What indeed? We have no food. The plane won't fly, even if we could fly it.
But surely when the pilot recovers...
The pilot is dead. He died during the night.
I see. I thought he was still sleeping.
I hope you're not feeling too bad this morning, Miss Brinklow.
No. The soldiers in the war had to suffer worse things than this. I've just been saying a prayer for the poor pilot.
Well, we're in a pretty fine pickle now, Conway. What are we going to do?
I don't know. But the pilot said...
You spoke to him? Good God.
Yes, but I'm sorry to say he told me very little. Merely that we are in Tibet, which is obvious anyway.
But why on earth?
He didn't give any coherent account of why he brought us here. But he seemed to know the locality. He spoke a kind of Chinese that I don't understand very well. But I think he said something about a lamasery near here, along the valley.
Did he, by Jove? A lamasery? What's that?
It's a Buddhist monastery. He said we could get food and shelter there.
Well, that's something.
Yes. He was most emphatic that we should go there.
Which doesn't seem to me any reason at all why we should. After all, he was probably off his head, wasn't he?
You know as much about that as I do. But if we don't go to this lamasery, where else are we to go?
Anywhere you like, I don't care. All I'm certain of is that this, lamasery, if it's in that direction, must be a few extra miles from civilization. I should feel happier if we were lessening the distance, not increasing it. Damnation, man, aren't you going to get us back?
I don't think you properly understand the position, Mallinson. We're in a part of the world that no one knows very much about, except that it's difficult and dangerous, even for a fully equipped expedition.
Yeah, that's right.
Considering that hundreds of miles of this sort of country probably surround us on all sides, the notion of walking back to Peshawar doesn't strike me as very hopeful.
I don't think I could possibly manage it.
Then it looks as if we're damn lucky that this lamasery is around the corner.
If it is.
Comparatively lucky, maybe. After all, we've no food. In a few hours we shall all be famished, and then tonight, when it gets colder again... It's not a pleasant prospect.
No, indeed.
Our only chance, it seems to me, is to find some other human beings. And where else should we begin looking for them? except where we've been told they exist.
But what if it's a trap?
A nice warm trap would suit me down to the ground.
All very well, but...
I take it then that we're all more or less agreed. Now, there's an obvious way along the valley. It doesn't look too steep, though we shall have to take it very slowly. In any case, we can do nothing here. We couldn't even bury the pilot without dynamite to dig a hole. Besides, the lamasery people may be able to supply us with porters for the journey back.
Yeah.
Now, I suggest we start at once, so that if we don't locate the place by late afternoon, we shall have time to return here for another night in the cabin of the aeroplane.
And suppose we do locate it? Have we any guarantee we shan't be murdered?
None at all, but I think it a less, and perhaps also a preferable risk to being starved or frozen to death up here.
Oh, yes.
As a matter of fact, murder is the very last thing one would expect in a Buddhist monastery. It would be rather less likely than being killed in an English cathedral.
Like St. Thomas of Canterbury.
Quite.
Very well, then. We'll be off to the lamasery, wherever it is. Let's just hope it's not halfway up a mountain, because if it is...
Look up there.
My God. What's that coming out of the mist?
Men. Coming down the slope.
It's Providence.
But where on earth can they be going?
They're not going anywhere. They're coming here.
Where's that revolver?
Don't be a fool. Now keep still. All of you. Just stand still.
One of them's coming over. Looks like their leader. Funny-looking cove, looks Chinese.
I hope he speaks Chinese.
They don't look violent.
How do you do? My name is Chang. I am from the lamasery of Shangri-La.
That was part one of Lost Horizon by James Hilton. In it you heard Derek Jacobi, Andrew Branch, Alan Tilvern, Carol Marsh, John Livesey, Sean Probert, Alaric Cotter, Gary Cady, John Bull and Garard Green. The pianist was Anthony Mile, and it was dramatised by Barry Campbell. The producer was Graham Gould.
Lost Horizon. The novel by James Hilton. Dramatised for radio in 3 parts by Barry Campbell. Starring Derek Jacobi as Hugh Conway and Alan Wheatley as the High Lama. Episode 2. Shangri-La.
It was following a dinner party at Templehof that my old school friend, the writer Rutherford, entrusted me with a manuscript which contained the account he'd pieced together of the curious affair of Hugh Conway and the 3 other passengers aboard the aeroplane which had been stolen from the airfield at Baskul. As I sat early one morning in the speeding Ostend Express, I read with mounting interest of the party's incredible flight over the Karakoram Mountains, and of their eventual crash landing, and of the sudden appearance in the Tibetan wilderness of the mysterious Chinaman, Chang.
How do you do? My name is Chang. I am from the lamasery of Shangri-La. If you would be so good as to present me to your friends.
Yes, of course. Miss Brinklow.
How do you do?
Mr. Barnard, who is an American.
Oh.
Hi. Captain Mallinson.
How do you?
And my name is Conway.
I am delighted to make your acquaintance.
And we are all very glad to see you, though the meeting is almost as puzzling as the fact of our being here at all. Indeed, we were just about to try and make our way to your lamasery, so it is doubly fortunate. If you could give us directions...
Oh, there is no need for that. I shall be delighted to act as your guide.
But I couldn't think of putting you to such trouble. It is exceedingly kind of you, but if the distance is not too far...
It is not far, but it is not easy either. I shall esteem it an honor to accompany you and your friend.
But really...
I must insist.
Our stay won't be long, and we shall pay for anything we have. We should also like to hire some of your men to help us on our journey back. We want to return to civilization as soon as possible.
And are you so very certain that you are away from it, Captain Mallinson?
I'm quite sure I'm far away from where I want to be, and so are we all. We shall be grateful for temporary shelter, but we shall be more grateful still if you'll provide means for us to return.
How long do you suppose the journey to India will take?
I really could not say.
Well, I hope we're not going to have any trouble about it. I've had some experience of hiring native porters, and we shall expect you to use your influence to get us a fair deal.
I can only assure you, Captain Mallinson, that you will be honorably treated, and that, ultimately, you will have no regrets.
Ultimately?
But come, you must all be hungry and thirsty after your ordeal. If you will come this way, there is wine and fruit available for you.
Thank you.
It will give you strength for the journey.
Oh, thanks, that's great.
Ah, Mr. Conway, you are contemplating the mountain.
Yes, it's a fine sight. It has a name, I suppose?
It is called Karakal.
I don't think I've ever heard of it. Is it very high?
Over 28,000 feet.
Indeed. I didn't realize there would be anything on that scale outside the Himalaya. Has it been properly surveyed? Whose are the measurements?
Whose would you expect, my dear sir? Is there anything incompatible between monasticism and trigonometry?
Not at all. Not at all.
But come, we must begin our journey.
Are you all right, Miss Brinklow?
Yes. Yes, thank you.
Yes, it's a curious sensation. It must be the rarefied air. One has to breathe consciously and deliberately. It's not altogether unpleasant, though.
I ran for a train once and felt just like this.
You're lucky, Conway. It doesn't seem to affect you. God, I wish I could be carried in a chair like that Chinese fellow. Damn cheek.
Oh, come on. We're nearly at the top.
They're slowing up. What's this?
I'm coiling ropes. Do they mean to hang us already?
The next stage must be a bit tricky. I expect we're all going to be roped together.
Oh, dear.
Yeah, it'll be all right.
I'll do my best, but you know I've never been roped before.
Well, at least it's getting warmer.
Yes, and it's downhill now. Well, one thing's certain, we could never have found our way here by ourselves.
Should we be missing much? Good God, Conway. Do you fancy you're pottering about in the Alps? What sort of hell's kitchen are we making for?
We shall soon know, I expect. Here comes that Chinese fellow, Chang.
Be of good cheer, for we have almost reached our destination.
I can't see anything.
But a few steps more to turn the corner and...
Say, will you look at that?
How beautiful it is.
Lord.
Is it not a strange and incredible sight? Always it impresses me, this group of coloured pavilions clinging to the mountainside with the chance delicacy of flower petals impaled upon a crag. Is it not exquisite? Is it not superb?
It is indeed superb.
Welcome to Shangri-La. I must apologize for leaving you to yourselves most of the way, but the truth is journeys of that kind don't suit me. I trust you were not too fatigued.
We managed.
Excellent. And now, if you will come with me, I will show you to your apartments.
Thank you.
No doubt you would like baths.
Yes,
Our accommodation is simple, but I hope adequate.
Well, I can't say I like your climate yet. The air seems to stick on my chest a bit. Whew. But you've certainly got a darn fine view out of your front windows. Do we all have to line up for the bathroom? Or is this an American hotel?
I think you will find everything quite satisfactory, Mr. Barnard.
I should hope so indeed.
And afterwards, I should be greatly honored if you will all join me at dinner.
And afterwards, if you don't mind, we'll make our plans for going away. And the sooner the better, as far as I'm concerned.
You are fond of Chinese cooking, Mr. Conway?
Yes, very much so, and this is delicious.
Oh, please, help yourselves to more food and wine, lady and gentlemen. You will excuse me if I do not join you, but my diet is very restricted. I am obliged to take care of myself. More wine, Mr. Barnard.
Thank you. It's delicious. I feel quite refreshed.
I trust that we are less barbarian than you expected.
Yes, indeed. Although I must confess I never expected to find central heating in a Tibetan monastery.
Did I tell you about my bath? Green porcelain, and what's more, made in Akron, Ohio. Can you beat that?
You seem such a very fortunate community, and most hospitable to strangers. I don't imagine, though, that you receive them often.
Oh, seldom indeed. It is not a travelled part of the world.
Please will you tell us about the monastery?
Oh, it will give me the greatest of pleasure, madam, so far as I am able. What exactly do you want to know?
Well, first of all, how many of you are there here, and what nationality do you belong to?
Those of us in full Lamahood number about 50, and there are a few others like myself who have not yet attained to complete initiation. We shall do so in due course, it is to be hoped. Till then, we are half-lamas, postulants, you might say. As for our racial origins, there are representatives of a great many nations among us, though it is perhaps natural that Tibetans and Chinese make up the majority. But your glass is empty, Captain Mallinson. Please, help yourself.
Thank you.
Shangri-La is really a native monastery, then. Is your head lama a Tibetan or a Chinese?
No.
Are there any English?
Several.
Dear me, that seems very remarkable. Now, tell me what you all believe in.
That's a rather big question.
Of course, I believe in the true religion, but I'm broad-minded enough to admit that other people, foreigners, I mean, are quite often sincere in their views. And naturally, in a monastery, I wouldn't expect to be agreed with.
But why not, madame? Must we hold that because one religion is true, all others are bound to be false?
Well, of course, that's rather obvious, isn't it?
Really, I think we'd better not argue. But Miss Brinklow shares my own curiosity about the motive of this unique establishment.
If I were to put it into a very few words, my dear sir, I should say that our prevalent belief is in moderation. We inculcate the virtue of avoiding excess of all kinds, even including, if you will pardon the paradox, excess of virtue itself. In the valley which you have seen, and in which there are several thousand inhabitants living under the control of our order, we have found that this principle makes for a considerable degree of happiness. We rule with moderate strictness, and in return we are satisfied with moderate obedience. And I think I can claim that our people are moderately sober, moderately chaste, and moderately honest.
Yes, I think I understand. I suppose the fellows who met us this morning belong to your valley people.
Yes. I hope you had no fault to find with them during the journey.
Oh, no, none at all. By the way, you were careful to say that the rule of moderation applied to them. Am I to take it that it does not apply also to your priesthood?
I regret, sir, that you have touched upon a matter which I may not discuss. I can only add that our community has various faiths and usages, but we are, most of us, moderately heretical about them. I am deeply grieved that at the moment I cannot say more.
Oh, please, don't apologize. I'm left with the pleasantest of speculation.
All this has been very interesting, but I really think it's time we began to discuss our plans for getting away. We want to return to India as soon as possible. How many porters can we be supplied with?
Unfortunately, Captain Mallinson, I am not the proper person to approach. But in any case, I hardly think the matter could be arranged immediately.
But something has got to be arranged. We've all got our work to return to, and our friends and relatives will be worrying about us. We simply must return. We're obliged to you for receiving us like this, but we really can't slack about here doing nothing. If possible, we should like to set out tomorrow.
I am sorry, but as I have already said, this is scarcely in my province.
Isn't it? Well, perhaps I can do something at any rate. If you could get us a large-scale map of the country, it would help. And it would be a good idea to send messages ahead also to reassure our relatives. How far away is the nearest telegraph line? Well, where do you send? Send when you want anything. Anything civilized, I mean. You won't tell me then. I see. It's all part of the mystery. Conway, I must say I think you're damned slack.
Sit down and be quiet. You're overwrought.
Why don't you get at the truth? I'm all in for the time being, but tomorrow we must get away. Tomorrow. Essential. We must get...
Captain Mallinson!
Tomorrow he will be much better. The air here is difficult for a stranger at first, but one soon becomes acclimatized.
I expect we're all feeling it somewhat. I think we'd better adjourn this discussion and go to bed. Barnard, will you look after Mallinson? I'll be along shortly.
Surely.
And I'm sure you're in need of sleep too, Miss Brinklow.
Yes, I am, rather.
I will summon the servants to take you to your room.
Now that the others have gone, I don't want to delay you long, so I'd better come to the point.
Please do.
Our return journey has to be arranged, and we can't do it without help. Now, of course, I realize that leaving tomorrow is impossible. And for my own part, I hope to find a minimum stay here quite interesting. But that, perhaps, is not the attitude of my companions. So if it is true, as you say, that you cannot help, please put us in touch with someone who can.
You are wiser than your friends, my dear sir, and therefore you are less impatient. I am glad.
That's not an answer.
I feel sure you have no cause to worry about the matter. No doubt, in due course, we shall be able to give you all the help you need. There are difficulties, but if we approach the problem without undue haste...
I'm not suggesting haste. I'm merely seeking information about porters.
That raises another point. I very much doubt whether you will easily find men willing to undertake such a journey. They have homes in the valley, and they don't care to leave them to make long and arduous trips outside.
Yeah, but they can be prevailed upon to do so. Or else why and where were they escorting you this morning?
This morning? Oh, that was quite a different matter.
In what way? Weren't you setting out on a journey when you chanced to come across us? I see. I understand. Then it wasn't a chance meeting. I did wonder at the time. So you came deliberately to meet us. Now that suggests you must have known of our arrival beforehand. And the interesting question is, how?
Come onto the balcony. It is rather warm in here. You are very clever, but not entirely correct. For that reason, I should counsel you not to worry your friends by these abstract discussions. Believe me, neither you nor they are in any danger at Shangri-La.
And yet you drug our food?
Ah, you noticed that. Merely a herbal preparation to relieve the respiration and to help put you at your ease after your ordeal. It appears to have affected Captain Mallinson rather more than the rest of you.
I rather think he drank more wine. But as for wishing us to enjoy our stay here, as I told you, in a personal sense, I shan't mind a great deal. It's a new and interesting experience, and in any case, we do need some rest.
Tomorrow, you may find it even more interesting. And as for rest, if you are fatigued, there are not many better places in the world.
It is very beautiful, I'll give you that. Just look at the mountain. Caracal, you called it. So brittle and clear against the blue immensity beyond. The whole valley might be a landlocked harbour, and Caracal the lighthouse. Look, there at the light on the summit. It's ice blue. Magnificent. What does the name Caracal mean?
Caracal in the very patois means blue moon.
Well, I must say I feel full of beans this morning.
Morning.
Hot bath, comfortable bed, and now a fine breakfast. What more could a man want?
It's not at all what I expected. It's so comfortable.
Good morning.
Morning.
Truly, as your national poet says, sleep knits up the ravelled sleeve of care.
I suppose you mean Shakespeare, though I don't recognise the quotation. But I know another one that says, stand not upon the order of your going, but go at once. Without being impolite, that's rather what we should all like to do. And I want to hunt around for those porters this morning, if you've no objection.
I am sorry to have to tell you it would be of little use. I fear we have no men available.
But good God, man, you don't suppose we're going to take that for an answer, do you?
I am sincerely regretful, but I can suggest no other.
You seem to have figured it all out since last night. You weren't nearly so dead sure of things then.
I did not wish to disappoint you when you were so tired from your journey. You may recollect it was remarked yesterday by Captain Mallinson that we are bound to have occasional communication with the outside world. That is quite true.
Yeah, you see, I was right.
From time to time we require certain things from distant entrepôts, and it is our habit to obtain them in due course. The point of importance is that such a consignment is expected to arrive shortly, and as the men who made the delivery will afterwards return, it seems to me that you might manage to come to some arrangement with them. Indeed, I cannot think of a better plan, and I hope when they arrive...
When do they arrive?
The exact date, of course, is impossible to forecast. The hazards of weather and so on. It will probably not be longer than 2 months.
2 months? Or 3, or 4, or 5? And you think we're going to wait here for this convoy or caravan or whatever it is to take us God knows where at some completely vague time in the distant future?
I think, sir, the phrase distant future is hardly appropriate. Unless something unforeseen occurs, the period of waiting should not be longer than I have said.
But 2 months? 2 months in this place? It's preposterous.
I'm sorry. I did not wish to offend. If you will excuse me.
Sorry I lost my temper. But you know how I feel. There's something odd about this business. It's crooked. I'd like to be out of it this minute.
I don't blame you for that. Unfortunately, it's not a question of what any of us would like, but of what we've all got to put up with.
That seems to be the way of it.
I'm sorry to admit that we're so helpless in the matter, but I'm afraid it's the truth.
You mean we've got to stay here for 2 months?
Well, I don't see what else we can do.
All right, then. 2 months it is. And now let's all shout hooray about it.
I don't see why it should be so much worse than 2 months in any other isolated part of the world.
After all, people in our jobs are used to being sent to odd places.
Of course, it's bad for those of us who have friends and relatives. Personally, I can't think of anyone who'll worry over me acutely. And my work can easily be done by someone else.
Well, I reckon I'm pretty lucky myself for that matter. 2 months in this penitentiary won't kill me, and as for the folks back home, well, I've always been a bad letter writer.
You forget that our names will be in the papers. We shall all be posted as missing, and people will naturally assume the worst.
Oh, yes, that's true. But, it won't affect me, I assure you.
I must say, you don't appear too distressed about it, Miss Brinklow.
As Mr. Barnard says, 2 months here is nothing to make a fuss about. It's all the same wherever one is when one's in the Lord's service. Providence has sent me here. I regard it as a call.
And I'm sure you'll find your mission society pleased with you when you do return.
Yes. I'm sure I shall be able to give them much information.
Well, all of us have had a very interesting experience, for that matter. That should be a small consolation.
Heaven knows what we shall find to do with ourselves.
The first rule must be to avoid getting on each other's nerves. Happily, the place seems big enough and by no means overpopulated. Except for the servants, we've only seen one of its inhabitants so far.
Lady and gentlemen, this afternoon, if you are agreeable, I shall be delighted to show you a little more of the lamasery.
Why not? We may as well give the place the once over while we're here.
When we left Baskul in that aeroplane, I'm sure I never dreamed we should ever get to a place like this.
And we don't know why we have yet.
And the exquisite Pablo song ceramics which you saw in the higher chamber.
Yes.
Now, if you will just turn this way, it is conceivable that you may find these humble paintings of interest. This, as you see, is the library of Shangri-La.
Oh, I say. There must be millions of books here.
Sure is.
I think I may say without boastfulness that you will find all the world's very best literature represented here.
English, French, Eastern scripts, Chinese, Russian. Why, it's a veritable treasure house for scholars.
And you are a scholar, perhaps?
I enjoy reading, of course, but my work during recent years hasn't supplied many opportunities for the studious life.
Yet you would wish for it?
Oh, I wouldn't say that, but I am certainly aware of its attractions.
Well, here's something for your studious life, Conway. It's a map of the country.
We have a collection of several hundreds. They are all open to your inspection. But you will not find Shangri-La on any of them.
I wonder why.
There is a very good reason. That is all I can say.
Still piling up the mystery, eh?
Aren't you going to show us the llamas at work?
I am sorry to say that is impossible. The llamas are never, or perhaps I should say only rarely, seen by those outside the llamahood.
What do the llamas do?
They devote themselves, madame, to contemplation and to the pursuit of wisdom.
That isn't doing anything.
Then, madame, they do nothing.
I thought as much. Well, Mr. Chang, it's a pleasure being shown all these things, I'm sure. But you won't convince me that a place like this does any real good. I prefer something more practical.
Perhaps you would like to take tea now.
Tea? Yes, that would be very welcome, thank you. Visiting museums and art galleries always gives me a slight headache.
Then by all means, let's have tea.
Then I shall take you to the Lotus Pool Pavilion.
Pretty little place.
Please be seated, Miss Brinklow.
Thank you.
Good Lord.
What is it, Conway?
Well, I suppose after all the wonders we've seen this afternoon, it's rather naive of me, but I can't help being surprised when I see a modern grand piano and a harpsichord in a lamasery pavilion.
Oh, is that all?
I must tell you that the lamas hold Western music in the highest esteem, particularly that of Mozart. The lamasery has a collection of all the great European compositions, and many of the lamas are skilled musicians.
Do you mean to tell me that this piano was brought here by the route we came along yesterday? 'There
is no other.
Well, that beats everything. Then I figure you have an agent in Peking or Shanghai. And I'll bet everything costs a mighty lot of dollars by the time you handle it.
Your surmises are intelligent, Mr. Barnard, but I fear I cannot discuss them. But here's our tea. And now, I have another surprise for you, Mr. Conway. Lotsen?
What a stunning girl.
You are pleased, Mr. Conway? It is well.
How very delightful. 18th century French, is it not?
You are quite correct. A gavotte by Rameau.
But who is the girl?
Her name is Lotsen. She has much skill with the Western keyboard music. Like myself, she has not yet attained the full initiation.
I should think not indeed. She looks hardly more than a child.
So you have women lamas here, then?
There are no sex distinctions among us.
Extraordinary business is lamahood.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I hope my little tour has proved enjoyable.
Yes, indeed. Most enjoyable.
Yes, indeed.
Then I am most happy to have been of some small service. Meanwhile, please consider the resources of this music pavilion and the library wholly at your disposal.
That is most generous. But what about the lamas? Don't they ever want to use them?
They yield place with much gladness to their honored guests.
Well, that's what I call real handsome. And what's more, it shows that the lamas do really know we exist. Makes me feel more at home somehow. You've certainly got a swell outfit here, Chang. And that little girl of yours plays the piano very nicely. How old would she be, I wonder?
I am afraid I cannot tell you.
You don't give away secrets about a lady's age, is that it?
Precisely. Mr. Conway.
What?
It is most calm and beautiful in the courtyards, is it not?
Indeed it is, Chang. And the moon makes it even more so.
Yes. Shangri-La is most beautiful in the moonlight, touched with the mystery that lies at the core of all loveliness. But where are your companions?
I left them after dinner. I wanted to be alone, to think things out.
And I have interrupted your thoughts. I am sorry.
No, not at all.
Someone comes. Let us draw aside until they pass.
We obeyed the high ones of Shangri-La. He came through the air over the great mountains with a bird to hold him.
And he brought the strangers with him. Talu was not afraid of the outside wind, or the outside cold.
Oh, we went outside long ago. The Valley of the Blue Moon still remembers him.
Over the great mountains with a bird to hold him. Talu must have been our pilot. Then he wasn't just mad. The whole thing was planned, carried out at the instigation of the High Ones of Shangri-La. But why, Chang?
Have no fear, Mr. Conway. You are quite safe at Shangri-La. And soon, I assure you, all these mysteries will be revealed to you. But in the meantime, if I were you, I would not share your discovery with your friends. It might only serve to distress them unnecessarily.
Well, I reckon some folks have to get used to far worse places. But you know, Chang, in some ways, this is a damn bad hotel.
You are displeased?
Yeah. Don't you ever have any newspapers sent in? I'd give all the books in your library for this morning's Herald Tribune.
We have the files of the Times up to a few years ago, but only, I regret, Mr. Barnard, the London Times.
Yeah, I've noticed, Chang, that there's a temple in the valley. Is that a part of Shangri-La?
The temple has its own lamas who are under, shall we say, loose control from Shangri-La.
When I get back, I shall ask my society to send a missionary here.
They ought to send you. That is, of course, if you'd like a place like this.
It's hardly a question of liking it. It's a matter of what one feels one ought to do.
I think if I were a missionary, I'd choose this rather than quite a lot of other places.
In that case, there would be no merit in it, obviously.
But I wasn't thinking of merit.
More's the pity, then. There's no good in doing a thing because you like doing it. Look at the people here and in the valley.
They all seem very happy.
Exactly. Anyhow, I don't see why I shouldn't make a beginning by studying the language. Can you lend me a book about it, Mr. Chang?
Most certainly, madam. With the greatest pleasure. And if I may say so, I think the idea an excellent one. Perhaps you would care to come with me to the library.
Oh, yes, of course.
This way.
I'll come too, if I may. I'd like to read a newspaper, even if it is only a back copy of the London Times.
What about you, Mallinson? Aren't you going with them? Or are you going to the music pavilion to listen to the little Manchu girl playing? You seem to be taking quite an interest in music these days.
Yes, well, one has to do something. Besides, she plays very well.
She does indeed. Bach, Scarlatti, Mozart. Although, I can't make up my mind whether she plays for pleasure or if she's in some way a student.
Why don't you ask her?
She doesn't speak English, and I'm still rather reluctant to let them know I speak Chinese.
Yes, I see. I can't think what she's doing here. This Lama business may be all right for an old fellow like Chang, but what's the attraction in it for a pretty young girl? Do you suppose she likes being here?
Well, she doesn't appear to dislike it.
She doesn't appear to have any feelings at all, for that matter. She's more like a little ivory doll than a human being.
A charming thing to be like.
As far as it goes.
And it goes pretty far when you come to think about it. After all, the ivory doll has manners, good taste in dress, attractive looks, a pretty touch on the harpsichord, and she doesn't move about a room as if she were playing hockey. Western Europe, so far as I can recollect it, contains an exceptionally large number of females who lack these virtues.
You're an awful cynic about women, Conway.
Not at all. I'm 37 and you're 24. That's all it amounts to.
Talking of age, how old would you say Chang was?
Oh, anything between 49 and 149. I must say, Barnard has settled in well.
To tell you the truth, that fellow's cheerfulness is just about getting on my nerves.
Isn't it rather lucky for us that he does take things so well?
Personally, I think it's damned peculiar. What do you know about him, Conway? I mean, who he is and so on.
Well, not much more than you do. I understood he came from Persia and was supposed to have been oil prospecting. When the air evacuation was being arranged, I had quite a job to persuade him to join us at all.
Did you ever see his passport?
Probably, yeah, but I don't remember why.
Just this. Barnard was travelling on a forged passport. And he isn't Barnard at all.
I see. Well, who do you think he is, then?
He's Chalmers Bryant.
The deuce he is. What makes you think so?
He dropped his pocketbook this morning, and Chang picked it up and gave it to me, thinking it was mine. I couldn't help seeing it was stuffed with newspaper clippings. Well, some of them fell out. They were all about Bryant and the search for him and so forth. One of them had a photograph, which was absolutely like Barnard, except for a moustache.
Did you mention a discovery to Barnard himself?
No, I just handed him his property without comment. Well, what are you going to do about it?
Probably nothing at all. What can one do in any case?
But dash it all, the man's nothing but a large-scale thief. I know plenty of people who've lost their money through him. Why, the fellow has been monkeying about on Wall Street to the tune of $100 million. There's a warrant for his arrest in America and extradition orders against him in half a dozen countries.
Well, if you'll take my tip, you'll say nothing about it. Not for his sake, but for ours. You please yourself, of course, so long as you don't forget the possibility that he may not be the fellow at all.
Well, I'll think about it.
Cigar, Mallinson?
No, thank you.
Sure you won't have one?
No. I said no, didn't I?
Well, I guess you all know who I am.
Yes, Mallinson and I think we do.
Damn careless of me to leave those clippings about.
Well, we're all apt to be careless at times.
I'm sure I don't know who you are, Mr. Barnard.
Gosh, but it's mighty queer. The whole damn business, I mean. Right across Europe, on through Turkey and Persia. They nearly got me in Vienna. It's pretty exciting at first, but it gets on your nerves after a bit. I got a good rest at Baskul, though. I thought I'd be safe in the middle of a revolution.
So you were, except for the bullets.
Yeah, that's what bothered me at the finish. Whether to stay in Baskul and get plugged, or accept a trip in your government's aeroplane and find the police waiting at the other end. I wasn't exactly keen to do either.
I remember you weren't.
Well, that's how it was. And you can figure out that the change of plan that brought me here didn't worry me an awful lot. This ain't a bad place when you get used to it. The air's a bit nippy at first, but you can't have everything. But I reckon it's just what the doctor ordered. I'm on a different diet. I can't look at the stock exchange ticker tape. And my broker can't get me on the telephone.
I dare say he wishes he could. I think we'd better not argue about the past anymore. We're here now, that's the important thing. You know, it's curious, when you think about it, that of 4 people picked up, just by chance, and kidnapped 1,000 miles away, 3 of them should be able to find some consolation in the business. You, Barnard, want a rest cure and a hiding place. Miss Brinklow here feels a call to evangelize the heathen Tibetan.
Who's the third person you're counting? Not me, I hope.
I was including myself. And my own reason is perhaps the simplest of all. I just rather like being here.
Sir!
Oh, Chang.
I am proud to be the bearer of important news.
Well, what is it?
The High Lama has sent for you.
So I gather, but why all the fuss?
Because it is extraordinary and unprecedented. A fortnight ago you had not arrived, and now you are about to be received by him. Never before has it occurred so soon.
I'm still rather fogged, you know.
My dear sir, you will understand many things very soon. And may I add my own personal pleasure that this interval, always an awkward one, is now at an end. Believe me, it has been irksome to me to have to refuse you information on so many occasions. Extremely irksome. I am joyful in the knowledge that such unpleasantness will never again be necessary. Follow me, please. We have to ascend to the highest part of the lamasery.
You are Mr. Conway?
I am.
It is a pleasure to see you, Mr. Conway. I sent for you because I thought we should do well to have a talk together.
Ah.
Please, sit down. And have no fear. I am an old man and can do no one any harm.
I feel it a signal honour to be received by you.
I thank you, my dear Conway. It is, as I said, a moment of great pleasure for me. My sight is poor, but believe me, I'm able to see you in my mind as well as with my eyes. I trust that you've been comfortable at Shangri-La since your arrival?
Extremely so.
I am glad. Chang has done his best for you, no doubt. He tells me that you've been asking many questions about our community and its affairs.
I am certainly interested in them.
Then, if you can spare me a little time, I should be pleased to give you a brief account of our foundation.
Oh, indeed.
Probably you're familiar with the general outline of Tibetan history. I am informed by Chang that you've made ample use of our library here.
Yes.
So, you will be aware that Nestorian Christianity was widespread throughout Asia during the Middle Ages, and that its memory lingered long after its actual decay. In the year 1719, 4 Capuchin friars set out from Pekin in search of any remnants of the Nestorian faith that might still be surviving in the hinterland. 3 of them died on the way, but the 4th survived, and eventually came to that rocky defile that remains to this day the only practical approach to the Valley of the Blue Moon. There was at that time an ancient lamasery existing on this same mountain shelf. Father Perrault, that was his name, conceived the idea of setting up a Christian monastery on the same site.
I see.
And so the buildings were repaired, and he himself came to live here in the year 1734, when he was 53 years of age. Well, in the course of time, the institution he had founded began to undergo a subtle change. It might be deplorable, but it was not really very astonishing, for it could hardly be expected that one man, unaided, should uproot permanently the habits and traditions of an epoch. He had no Western colleagues to hold firm to when his own grip relaxed, and it had perhaps been a mistake to build on a site that held much older and differing memories. His followers were devoted, even when they forgot his teaching, while the people in the valley held him in such reverent affection that he forgave them with ever-increasing ease their lapses into former customs. By the time he reached his 90th year, as you may suppose, many of his early disciples had died, and there were few replacements. Perrault's life at this time grew to be very calm and placid, waiting for the end. The valley people supplied food and clothing. His library gave him work, and he spent his days with his books, his memories, and the mild ecstasies of the narcotic obtained from the Tangtse berry, to which he had become somewhat addicted. But his mind remained so clear that he even embarked on a study of certain mystical practices that the Indians call yoga, and which are based upon various special methods of breathing.
I see.
Well, then, in the year 1789, news descended to the valley that Perrault was dying at last. Here, in this room, where he could see from the window the white blur that was all his failing eyesight gave him of Caracal, he was ready, willing, and glad to die. He bade farewell to his friends and servants, and then he asked to be left alone for a while. It was during such a solitude, with his body sinking and his mind lifted to beatitude, that he hoped to give up his soul. But it did not happen so. He lay for many weeks without speech or movement, but at last he began to recover. He was then 108 years old.
Good Lord.
Instead of convalescing idly, he plunged immediately into a rigorous self-discipline. Deep breathing exercises combined with narcotic indulgence could not have seemed a very death-defying regimen. Yet the fact remains that when the last of the old monks died in 1794, Perrault was still living. To the people of the valley, he soon became veiled in mystery, a hermit with uncanny powers. As the new century approached, the legend grew into a rich and fantastic folklore. It was said that Perrault had become a god, that he worked miracles, and that on certain nights he flew to the summit of Caracal to hold a candle to the sky. It was then that a second stranger from Europe arrived in the Valley of the Blue Moon, a young Austrian named Henschel, who had soldiered against Napoleon in Italy. His first ambition was to enrich himself, for the valley is rich in gold deposits, and return to Europe as soon as possible. But he did not return. The valley, with its peacefulness and its utter freedom from worldly cares, tempted him again and again to delay his departure. And one day, having heard the local legend, he climbed to Shangri-La and had his first meeting with Perrault. I will not try to describe the association that sprang up between the two. The one gave utmost adoration, while the other shared his knowledge, his ecstasies, and the wild dream that had now become the only reality left for him in the world.
Please, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but that is not quite clear to me.
I know. It would be remarkable if it were. It is a matter which I shall be pleased to explain before our talk is over, but for the present, if you will forgive me, I will confine myself to simpler things.
Certainly.
A fact that will interest you is that Henschel began our collection of Chinese art, as well as our library and musical acquisitions. It was Henschel's ingenuity which devised the complicated system by which the lamasery has ever since been able to obtain anything needful from the outer world.
I suppose you found it easy to make payment in gold.
Oh, yes. We have been fortunate in possessing supplies of a metal which is held in such high esteem in other parts of the world.
Such high esteem that you must have been very lucky to escape a gold rush.
Yes, that was always Henschel's fear. He was careful that none of the porters bringing books and art treasures should ever approach too closely. He even arranged for sentries to keep constant watch, but soon it occurred to him that there was an easier and more final safeguard.
Yes?
You see, there was no need to fear invasion by an army. The most ever to be expected was the arrival of a few half-lost wanderers, who, even if they were armed, would probably be so weakened as to constitute no danger. It was decided, therefore, that henceforward strangers might come as freely as they chose, but with one important proviso. Over a period of years, such strangers did come, and not only were they now welcomed, if they chanced to find their way into the valley, but it became customary to meet them, if they ever ventured within a certain radius. All this was for a reason I will later discuss, but the point is of importance, showing that the lamasery was no longer hospitably indifferent. Meanwhile, the lamasery had begun to acquire many of its present characteristics. I must stress the fact that Henschel was exceedingly able and talented, and that the Shangri-La of today owes as much to him as to its founder. Yes, quite as much, I often think. For his was the firm, yet kindly hand that every institution needs at a certain stage of its development. And his loss would have been altogether irreparable had he not completed more than a life's work before he died.
He died?
Yes. It was very sudden. He was killed. It was in the year of your Indian mutiny. Just before his death, a Chinese artist sketched him. The portrait is there, behind that curtain, if you would care to look.
Yes, thank you.
It is very well done, is it not? The delicacy of texture.
But this is the face of a young man.
Yes. Yes, the features are of great beauty.
But you said this was done just before his death?
Yes.
Then if he died in the year you said,
He did.
And he came here, you told me, in 1803, when he was a youth?
Yes.
Yes? He was killed, did you say?
Yes. An Englishman shot him. It was a few weeks after the Englishman had arrived at Shangri-La.
What was the cause of it?
Oh, there had been a quarrel about some porters. Henschel had just told him of the important proviso that governs our reception of guests. Perhaps you are wondering, my dear Conway, what that proviso may be.
I think I can already guess.
Can you, indeed? And can you guess anything else after this long and curious story of mine?
It seems impossible. And yet I can't help thinking of it. It's astonishing. It's extraordinary. And yet not absolutely beyond my powers of belief.
What is it, my son?
That you are still alive, Father Perrault.
In Part 2 of Lost Horizon by James Hilton, Derek Jacobi was Hugh Conway and Alan Wheatley was the High Lama. Mallinson, Andrew Branch, Barnard, Alan Tilvern, Miss Brinklow, Carol Marsh, Chang, Garard Green, and James Hilton, Alaric Cotter. The harpsichord was played by Anthony Mile. Lost Horizon is dramatized by Barry Campbell and directed by Graham Gould. Lost Horizon. The novel by James Hilton. Dramatized for radio in 3 parts by Barry Campbell. Starring Derek Jacobi as Hugh Conway and Alan Wheatley as the High Lama. Episode 3. The Inheritance.
I doubt if I have ever come across a more remarkable story than my friend Rutherford's account of Hugh Conway's adventures in Tibet. That 4 people should be kidnapped in India and flown over 1,000 miles to Tibet in a stolen aeroplane was incredible enough in itself. but that Conway should discover during a private audience with the High Lama that he was conversing with a man some 250 years old. Well, the whole thing was just too improbable and fantastic to believe. And yet there it was, all set down by Rutherford. Conway had sat dizzied in brain as he listened to the High Lama, until the gathering certainty of his mind sprang to words with an emotion which he did not seek to conceal.
It seems impossible, and yet I can't help thinking of it. It's astonishing. It's extraordinary, and yet not absolutely beyond my powers of belief.
What is it, my son?
That you are still alive, Father Perrault.
And what of the other matter?
The proviso. That you intend to keep us here. I take it that that is the important and invariable proviso.
You have guessed correctly, my son.
And we are really to stay here forever?
I should prefer to employ your excellent English idiom and say that we are all of us here for good.
But what puzzles me is why we four?
We have always aimed, as far as possible, to keep our numbers in fairly constant recruitment. Unfortunately, since the recent European War and the Russian Revolution, travel and exploration in Tibet have been almost completely held up.
I see.
In fact, our last visitor, a Japanese, arrived in 1912 and was not, to be candid, a very valuable acquisition. The position was then that for nearly 2 decades we had welcomed no newcomers. A problem was beginning to arise, and then one of our number came to the rescue with a novel idea. It was to make his way to some surrounding country and bring us additional colleagues by a method which would have been impossible in an earlier age.
I see. You mean he was deliberately sent out to bring someone back by air?
Well, you see, he was an exceedingly gifted and resourceful youth. We had great confidence in him.
But tell me, what's the idea behind it all?
My son, your way of asking that question gives me infinite pleasure. My revelation has been greeted in almost every conceivable manner, but never until this night with more interest. Today you are interested. Tomorrow you will feel concern. Eventually, it may be, we shall claim your devotion.
That's more than I should care to promise.
Your very doubt pleases me. It is the basis of a profound and significant faith. But let us not argue. You are interested, and that, from you, is much. You are still, I should say, a youngish man. Your life, as people say, lies ahead of you. By the standards of Shangri-La, your sunlit years have scarcely yet begun. It will happen, perhaps, that decades hence you will feel no older than you are today. You may preserve, as Henschel did, a long and wondrous youth, but that, believe me, is only an early and superficial phase. There will come a time when you will age like others, though far more slowly, and into a condition infinitely nobler. But we are not workers of miracles. We have made no conquest of death, nor even of decay. All we have done is to slacken the tempo of the brief interval called life. Make no mistake, the end awaits us all. Yet nevertheless it is a prospect of much charm that I unfold for you. The years will come and go, and you will pass from fleshly enjoyments into austerer, but no less satisfying realms. And most precious of all, you will have time. Time, that rare and lovely gift that your Western countries have lost the more they have pursued it. But you make no comment, my dear Conway. Perhaps you are thinking of someone left behind in the outside world.
I am unmarried, I have few close friends, and no ambitions.
And your work?
I was in the consular service, quite a subordinate post, but it suited me well enough.
But your soul was not in it.
Neither my soul nor my heart, nor more than half my energies. I'm naturally rather lazy.
Laziness in doing certain things can be a great virtue. In any case, you will not find us exacting in such a matter. Chang has no doubt explained to you our principle of moderation.
Yes.
Well, one of the things in which we are always moderate is activity. All things considered, I feel sure you will get used to our ways without too much effort. There is, I admit, an odd quality in you that I have never met in any of our visitors hitherto. It is, if I had to put a single word to it, passionlessness.
As good a word as most, no doubt. I don't know whether you classify the people who come here, but if so, you can label me 1914, 1918. I used up most of my passion and energies during those years. And though I don't talk much about it, the chief thing I've asked from the world since is to leave me alone. I find in this place a certain charm and quietness that appeals to me. And no doubt, as you remarked, I shall get used to things.
Is that all, my son? Is there nothing in the prospect I have briefly outlined that tempts you to any stronger feeling?
I was deeply impressed by your story of the past, but your sketch of the future interests me only in the abstract sense. I can't look so far ahead. I should certainly be sorry if I had to leave Shangri-La tomorrow, or perhaps even next year. But how I shall feel about it if I live to be 100 isn't a matter to prophesy. I can face it like any other future, but in order to make me keen, it must have a reason.
There is a reason, and a definite one. Indeed, it is the vision of Father Perrault when he lay dying in this very room in 1789. As he looked back on his long life, it seemed to him that all the loveliest things were transient and perishable, and that war, lust, and brutality might someday crush them until there were no more left in the world. He saw the nations strengthening not in wisdom, but in vulgar passions and the will to destroy. He foresaw a time when men, exultant in the technique of homicide, would rage so hotly over the world that every precious thing would be in danger. Every book and picture, every treasure garnered through the millennia, the small, the delicate, the defenseless, all would be lost. Believe me, that vision will come true. And that is why I am here, and why you are here, and why we may pray to outlive the doom that gathers on every side.
To outlive it?
There is a chance.
And you think that Shangri-La will escape?
Perhaps we may expect no mercy, but we may faintly hope for neglect. Here we shall stay, conserving the frail elegances of a dying age, and seeking such wisdom as men will need when their passions are all spent. We have a heritage to cherish and bequeath. But let us take what pleasure we may until that time comes.
And then?
Then, when the strong have destroyed each other, the Christian ethic may at last be fulfilled, and the meek shall inherit the earth.
I understand you, Father.
Well, you certainly had a long talk with the boss last night. What sort of a guy is he?
Did he say anything about the porters?
Or the mission station?
I'm afraid I'm going to disappoint you all. I didn't discuss the question of the mission with him, Miss Brinklow, and he didn't mention porters at all, Mallinson. As for his appearance, I can only say he's a very old man who speaks excellent English.
The main thing to us is whether he's to be trusted or not.
He didn't strike me as a dishonourable person.
Why on earth didn't you worry him about the porters?
It didn't occur to me.
I can't understand you, Conway. You seem to have got all to pieces.
I'm sorry.
No good being sorry. You ought to buck up.
Now, you misunderstand me, Mallinson. I meant that I was sorry to have disappointed you. Look here, it's no use continually harping on Baskul. Of course I was different then. It was a completely different situation.
Well, it's something I'd rather face than all this mystery business. That Chinese girl, for instance, how did she get here? Did the fellow tell you?
No, why should he?
Well, why shouldn't he? And why shouldn't you ask? Is it usual to find a young girl living with a lot of monks?
This isn't an ordinary monastery.
My God, it isn't.
Of course, the morals of this place are quite hideous.
I don't reckon you folks would value my opinion on a matter of morals, but I should say myself that quarrels are just as bad.
Yes.
Well, let's keep our tempers and make ourselves comfortable.
I can quite believe you find it more comfortable than Dartmoor, Barnard.
Dartmoor? Oh, that's your big penitentiary. I get you. Well, yes, I certainly never did envy the folks in those places.
Ah, Mr. Conway. Deep in thought, I see.
What?
I'm sorry. I startled you.
No, not at all, Chang. But as you know, I now have much to think about.
Indeed. It is strange at first, is it not, to comprehend such a concept. Henceforth, with your fellow exiles, you will live in a world conditioned by the arrival of the porters and the return to India, while at all other times, the horizon will lift like a curtain. Time will expand and space contract. But come, let us walk by the lotus pool, where we may discuss such matters without the fear of being overheard.
Chang, tell me about the life I may expect to lead, should I stay here.
For the first 5 years, you will lead a perfectly normal life without any special regimen. This is to enable the body to accustom itself to the altitude and also to give time for the dispersal of mental and emotional regrets. Then, after the probationary 5 years, the process of retarding age begins.
What about yourself? How did it work out in your case?
My dear sir, I was lucky enough to arrive here in 1855 when I was quite young, only 22.
22?
I lost my way in the mountains. When I was at last rescued and brought to Shangri-La, I was so ill that only extreme youth and virility saved me.
So you're now 97?
Yes. Very soon, if the lamas give their consent, I shall receive full initiation.
I see. You have to wait for the round figure.
Oh, no. We are not restricted to any definite age limit. But a century is generally considered to be an age beyond which the passions and moods of ordinary life are likely to have disappeared.
Yes, I should certainly think so. And what happens afterwards? How long do you expect to carry on?
In years, perhaps another century or more.
Suppose you were to leave the valley now. What would happen?
Death, if I remained away for more than a few days.
The atmosphere, then, is essential.
There is only one valley of blue moon, and those who expect to find another are asking too much of nature.
Well, then, what would have happened if you'd left the valley, say, 30 years ago, during your prolonged youth?
I should probably have died even then. In any case, I should have acquired very quickly the full appearance of my actual age.
It gives one a feeling somehow that time is like a bolt monster, waiting outside the valley to pounce on the slackers who've managed to evade him longer than they should.
Slackers?
Slacker? Oh, it's a slang word meaning a lazy fellow, a good for nothing.
It is significant that the English regard slackness as a vice. We, on the other hand, should vastly prefer it to tension. Is there not too much tension in the world at present? And might it not be better if more people were slackers?
You know, Chang, I'm inclined to agree with you. Lotsen works very hard at her music. Tell me about her.
Lotsen? Ah, yes. Lotsen is of royal Manchu blood. She was betrothed to a prince of Turkestan and was traveling to Kashgar to meet him when the party lost its way in the mountains.
When did this happen?
In 1884. She was 18.
18? Then...
Yes. We are succeeding very well with her, as you may judge for yourself. But come, let us go into the pavilion. There are others there today besides Lotsen, and I would wish you to meet them. Oh, please, Monsieur Briac, I had no wish to interrupt.
Aha, Chang! 你做先嘅人劇嚟聽下住你 Black 先生，真好啦！一陣夠拍劍。
Lotsen is most impressed with your playing today, Monsieur Briac.
I am honored. That is high praise indeed. Oh, but let me introduce myself to our guest. My name is Briac. I was once a pupil of Chopin.
How do you do? My name is Conway. I find your playing most impressive.
Merci. You are perhaps a musician yourself?
I do play, in a sort of amateur way.
Oh, then I am doubly glad to make your acquaintance. Should you be interested, I should be happy to pass on to you much of what my famous master taught me. I shall also be glad to play for you some of his hitherto unpublished works.
Indeed, then it is I who am honored.
Ah, my humble apologies. My dear sir, I have yet to introduce Herr Meister, Mr. Conway.
Herr Meister.
How do you do?
Have you been at Shangri-La long?
I entered the lamasery in the late 1880s. I was the only survivor of a small expedition.
And are you happy here?
Most happy. I'm writing a book about my pre-Tibetan life.
You see, my dear Conway, one of the first steps towards clarifying the mind is to obtain a panorama of one's own past.
Ah, then I suppose I shall have to set to work to remember my own big moments.
It will not be an effort. They will come to you.
I don't know that I should give them much of a welcome.
Chang, 我人愛聽過這類 Chopin 啊。
Monsieur Briac, Lotsen requests that you honor us with some more of your exquisite piano playing.
Mon plaisir. I will play again the first unpublished Polonais by my master Chopin.
You know, Conway, I'm not sure that this wouldn't be a nice little place to settle down in.
Yeah?
Just shows. I guess one can get used to anything.
I guess one can.
I hear you had another night out in the valley last night, Barnard.
This establishment caters for all tastes. Some people like little Chinese gals who play the piano, isn't that so? You can't blame anybody for what they fancy.
You can send them to jail, though, when they fancy other people's property.
Sure, if you can catch them. And that leads me to something I may as well tell you folks right away. I've decided to give those porters a miss.
You mean you're not coming with us?
That's it. I've decided to stop over for a while. It's all very fine for you. You'll have the band playing when you get home, but all the welcome I'll get is from a bunch of cops.
In other words, you're just afraid to face the music.
Well, I never did like music.
I suppose it's your own affair.
As a matter of fact, I think I shall stay too.
Good God.
You see, I've been thinking over the way things happen to bring us all here, and there's only one conclusion I can come to. I was sent here for a purpose, and I shall stay.
Do you mean to say you're hoping to start a mission here?
Not only hoping, but fully intending. I know just how to deal with these people. I shall get my own way, never fear. There's no real grit in any of them. The whole trouble with them is their so-called broad-mindedness, and I intend to fight it with all my powers.
And they're so broad-minded that they're going to let you.
Or else she's so strong-minded they can't stop her. It's just what I said. This establishment caters for all tastes. Well, if you'll excuse me, too, I have to find Chang. I've got to discuss this thing with him.
And so, Chang, 2 of your 4 visitors have decided to stay on here. And what's more, without being made privy to any of Shangri-La's secrets.
It is very gratifying. Poor Talu, your pilot, would have been very proud.
But, you know, I'm bothered about young Mallinson.
Oh?
I'm wondering just how he's to be told. He's counting the days to the arrival of those porters. And if they don't come...
But they will come. We are expecting them at or about the time I said.
Then you'll find it very hard to stop Mallinson from joining them.
He will merely discover that the porters are reluctantly unable to take anyone back with them.
I see, so that's the method. What a pity, though, Chang, that he can't just be allowed to go back without any fuss. After all, you let Talu go outside the valley.
Indeed, we did. For the authorities at Shangri-La are fully empowered to do anything that they consider wise. But, my dear Conway, should we be wise in trusting ourselves and our future entirely to your friends' feelings of gratitude?
I do see what you mean.
But come, I am quite sure that the problem will be resolved without too much difficulty. Let us stroll by the pool for a little and listen to the beautiful music of notes.
By the way, Chang, I've been meaning to ask, how do you people here fit love into your scheme of things?
Love?
Yes, I suppose it does sometimes happen that those who come here develop attachments.
Oh, quite often. The lamas, of course, are immune, and so are most of us when we reach the riper years. But until then, we are as other men. Tell me, is it possible that you are falling in love with Lotsen?
What makes you ask that?
Because, my dear sir, it would be quite suitable if you were to do so. Always, of course, in moderation. Lotsen would not respond with any degree of passion. That is more than you could expect. But the experience would be delightful, I assure you. And I speak with some authority. For I was in love with her myself when I was much younger.
Were you indeed? And did she respond then?
Only by the most charming appreciation of the compliment I paid her. And by a friendship which has grown more precious with the years.
In other words, she didn't respond.
If you prefer it so.
Well, that's all very well in your case. And perhaps in mine, too. But what about the attitude of a hot-blooded young fellow like Mallinson?
My dear sir, it would be the best possible thing that could happen. Not for the first time, I assure you, would Lotsen comfort the sorrowful exile when he learns that there is to be no return.
In that sense, then, you could regard her as part of the training equipment of the establishment.
You could regard her as that if you wished. But it would be more graceful and just as true to liken her to the rainbow reflected in a glass bowl, or to the dewdrops on the blossom of the fruit tree.
I entirely agree with you, Chang. That would be much more graceful.
And now, at this time, I am to take you to the High Lama again.
Tell me, my son, have you kept all our secrets from your 3 companions?
Yes, up to now. It has proved awkward for me at times, but probably less so than if I had told them.
Just as I surmised. You have acted as you thought best, and the awkwardness, after all, is only temporary. Chang tells me that he thinks that 2 of them will give little trouble.
I dare say that is so.
And the 3rd?
Mallinson is an excitable youth, and he's pretty keen to get back to India. He's energetic, and he has ambitions.
As for the others, as a matter of fact, it happens to suit them both to stay here.
Yes, we have done our best to make both of them feel at home. Miss Brinklow wishes to convert us, and Mr. Barnard also would like to convert us into a limited liability company. But your young friend, to whom neither gold nor religion can offer solace, how about him?
Yes, he's going to be a problem.
I'm afraid he's going to be your problem.
Why mine?
Because, my son, I am going to die.
But
you are surprised? All I announce is the simple truth that already I see the end. I realize that I have time for only one more thing. Can you imagine what that is? It concerns you, my son.
You do me a great honor.
My son, I place in your hands the heritage and the destiny of Shangri-La. I have waited for you, my son, for a long time. I have sat in this room and seen the faces of newcomers. I have looked into their eyes and heard their voices, and always in hope that someday I might find you. My friend, it is not an arduous task that I bequeath. To be gentle and patient, to care for the riches of the mind, to preside in wisdom and secrecy while the storm rages without.
This storm you talk of?
It will be such a one, my son, as the world has not seen before. There will be no safety by arms, no help from authority, no answer in science. It will rage till every flower of culture is trampled, and all human things are leveled in a vast chaos.
And you think all this will come in my time?
I believe that you will live through the storm. And after, through the long age of desolation, you may still live, grow older and wiser and more patient. You will conserve the fragrance of our history and add to it the touch of your own mind. Beyond that, my vision weakens. But I see at a great distance a new world stirring in the ruins, stirring clumsily but in hopefulness, seeking its lost and legendary treasures. And they will all be here, my son, here, hidden behind the mountains, in the valley of the blue moon.
Father Perro. Father Perro.
Conway! Conway! Great news! Come on, Conway, we've got till dawn to pack and we can get away.
Away?
The porters are about 5 miles beyond the pass. They came yesterday with loads of books and things. Tomorrow they begin the journey back. It just shows how these fellows here intended to let us down. They never told us. I say, what's the matter? Are you ill?
Ill? No, I don't think so. I'm just rather tired.
Probably the storm. Where were you all the while? I've been waiting for you for hours.
I was visiting the High Lama.
Oh, him. Well, that's for the last time, anyhow, thank God.
Yes. For the last time.
Well, I wish you wouldn't sound so deuced leisurely about it.
Look, I'm afraid I don't quite follow. You say the porters?
Yes, porters, man. Do pull yourself together.
You're thinking of going out to them?
Thinking of it? I'm damn well certain. They're only just over the ridge, and we've got to start immediately.
But you can't just present yourself and demand to be escorted. It all needs arrangement beforehand.
Or anything else to cause a delay. God, what a fellow you are. Everything's arranged. The porters have been paid in advance, and they've agreed to take us.
But I don't understand.
I don't suppose you do, but it doesn't matter.
Well, who's been making all these plans?
Lotsen, if you must know. She's with the porters now. She's waiting.
Lotsen?
Yes. She's coming with us.
But that's nonsense. It's impossible.
Why is it impossible?
Because, well, it is. It's incredible enough that she should be out there now. But the idea of her going any farther is just preposterous.
I don't see that it's preposterous at all. It's as natural for her to want to leave here as for me. A kid of her age, shut up here with a lot of old men. Naturally she'll get away if she's given a chance.
Now, don't you think you may be imagining her position in the light of your own? As I've always told you, she's perfectly happy here.
Then why did she say she'd come?
She said that? How could she? She doesn't speak English.
I asked her. Miss Brinklow worked out the words. It wasn't very fluent conversation, but it was quite enough to lead to an understanding.
But there's such a thing as being too impetuous. Where do you think she'll go if she does leave?
I'll see that she's looked after myself. After all, if you are rescuing people from something quite hellish, you don't stop to inquire if they've anywhere else to go.
And you think Shangri-La is hellish?
Definitely I do. The most frightful thing of all, to me, is the effect it's had on you. Conway, what has happened to you? I don't suppose you realise it, but I've been terribly alone these last few weeks. Nobody seemed to be caring a damn about the only thing that was really important. Barnard and Miss Brinklow had reasons of a kind, but it was pretty awful when I found you against me.
Then let me help you if I can, by telling you something. When you've heard it, you'll understand, I hope, a great deal of what now seems very curious and difficult. At any rate, you'll realise why Lotsen can't possibly go back with you.
I don't think anything would make me see that. But go on.
Very well. You remember how preoccupied I was after my first visit to the High Lama? And there it is. And so you too now know the history of Father Perrault and the lamasery of Shangri-La. And also why Lotsen can never go with you.
I really don't know what to say, Conway. Except that you must be completely mad.
So you think I'm mad?
Well, I should damn well say so. After a tale like that, it's utter nonsense.
You think it's nonsense?
Well, how else can I look at it? I'm sorry, Conway, it's a pretty strong statement, but I don't see how any sane person could be in any doubt about it. All this about llamas being hundreds of years old and having discovered a sort of elixir of youth, well, I mean to say.
Yes, I dare say you do find it hard to believe. Perhaps I did myself, at first. I scarcely remember.
Look here, Conway, this place has got on your nerves, and I don't wonder at it. Pack up your things and let's quit. We'll finish this argument a month or two hence after a jolly little dinner at the club.
I have no desire at all to go back to that sort of life.
Do you mean you're not coming with me? You're going to stay here like the other two? Then at least you shan't stop me from clearing out. I must go, I gave my word.
To Lotsen?
Yes, if you want to know.
Well, goodbye, Mallinson. and good luck.
For the last time. You're not coming?
I can't.
Goodbye, then.
Goodbye.
Conway,
Mallinson? Well, what's happened? Why are you back?
I hadn't the nerve. You remember that steep climb where we were all roped together?
Yes.
In the moonlight, it looked frightful. Silly, isn't it? I hadn't the nerve. Oh, why won't you come, Conway? I hate imploring you for my own sake, but damn it all, I'm young, and we've been pretty good friends together. And Lotsen, too, she's young. Doesn't she count at all?
Lotsen is not young.
Oh, no. Not young at all, of course.
Mallinson, Lotsen came here in 1884.
You're raving, man.
There's just one question I'd like to ask you.
Yes.
Are you in love with Lotsen?
I dare say I am. I know you'll say it's absurd, but I can't help my feelings.
No, I don't think it's absurd at all. I can't help my feelings either. You and Lotsen happen to be the two people in the world I care most about, though you may think it odd of me. Well, old man, we've said all we can say, haven't we?
Yes, I suppose we have. Oh, what stupid nonsense it all is about her not being young. She's just a girl. I was terribly sorry for her, and we were both attracted. I don't see that it's anything to be ashamed of. In fact, in a place like this, I should think it's about the decentest thing that's ever happened. Conway? I say, Conway.
Well, now, Mallinson, do you think you could manage that tricky bit with the rope if I were with you?
Conway? You mean you'll come? You've made up your mind at last!
I can just... Good man! You're doing fine! Carry on! Now, hold on tight! We're almost down! It gets easier soon!
I'll be all right! Now you're here!
Of course you will! Now! Steady! You're quite safe now.
We've done it! By God, we've done it! Oh, Conway, I can't tell you how glad I am.
I wouldn't try it if I were you.
Oh, it's wonderful to see you your real self again.
Not at all. Now we must make for the plateau. What was that?
It's Lotsen! Over here! We're over here!
Come in! Jacobi!
Lutsen! Yes! Conway's coming with us! Tell her, Conway, tell her!
What, Big?
Tell her, Conway! Everything's going to be all right!
Rutherford! Hilton! How nice to see you.
But what the devil are you doing in Delhi? I heard you were in Kashgar. There was no end of bosh about it in the papers.
Yes, the truth would have made a better story. But we can't talk here. Let's smoke a cigar out in the garden.
Righto.
That's better. These legation affairs are all very well for the first 10 minutes.
If you weren't in Kashgar then, Rutherford, where were you? Searching for Conway?
Searching is too strong a word. You can't search a country half as big as Europe for one man.
So you thought it might be easier to look for the Valley of the Blue Moon?
Well, it did seem as though it might be a more fixed proposition. I suppose you glanced at that manuscript of mine.
Much more than glanced at it. I should have returned it, by the way, but you left no address.
I wonder what you made of it.
I thought it very remarkable. Assuming, of course, that it's all quite genuinely based on what Conway told you.
I give you my solemn word that it is. I have a good memory, and Conway always had a way of describing things.
Well, as I said, it's all very remarkable.
Well, if that's all you're going to say, I can see I shall have to speak for myself. I was certainly taken with Conway's story, in more ways than one. And that was why I felt interested enough to put as many tabs on it as I could. I must have done thousands of miles. The facts are as follows, so far as I've been able to verify them. Conway left Baskul on the 20th of May and arrived in Chungkyang on the 5th of October. The last we know of him is that he left Bangkok on the 3rd of February. All the rest is guesswork, myth or legend, whatever you like to call it.
So you didn't find anything in Tibet?
My dear fellow, I never got to Tibet at all. People up at Government House wouldn't hear of it.
But
well, they looked at me as if I'd suggested writing a life of Gandhi. As a matter of fact, they knew more than I did. Strolling about in Tibet isn't a one-man job. It needs an expedition. I remember when Conway was telling me his story, I kept wondering, why all the fuss about waiting for the porters? Why didn't they simply walk off? I wasn't very long finding out. Not all the passports in the world could have got me over the Kunluns. Although I did see them from a distance.
Were they very forbidding?
It looked like a white frieze on the horizon. That was all. Then at Yarkand in Turkestan, I had the luck to fall in with an American traveller who'd once tried to cross them.
I'm sure there are passes, but they're very high and, what's more, unmapped.
But what about the valley that Conway described to me? Is it possible that there is such a place?
Well, possible, but not very likely. On geographical grounds, at any rate.
Well, then, have you ever heard of a cone-shaped mountain, almost as high as the highest of the Himalaya?
It's a funny thing. There was a legend about such a mountain. There are even rumours of mountains higher than Everest. But I doubt if any peak in the Kunluns is more than 25,000, if that. Sorry not to be more help.
No, not at all. But tell me, you've been in the country several times. What about these Tibetan lamaseries? What are they like?
Well, there aren't usually beautiful places, and the monks in them are generally corrupt and dirty.
Do they live long?
Yes, very often. If they don't die of some filthy disease.
But what about drugs and medicines for prolonging life?
Well, there are all sorts of legends about the lamas, but I suspect that they're rather like the Indian rope trick. Always something that somebody else has seen.
Yeah.
Although I can say that some of the lamas do have odd powers of bodily control.
So there we are. And probably you'll agree that all the evidence so far is less than you'd hang a dog on.
It's certainly inconclusive. Had the American ever heard of Caracal or of Shangri-La?
No, I tried him with them. The only thing he did say of interest was that he once met a fellow who'd been on an expedition to Tibet in 1911, I think he said. Well, somewhere near the Kunluns, they'd come across a Chinese who was being carried in a chair by native bearers. The fellow spoke English quite well and invited the expedition to visit a nearby lamasery. But the members of the expedition weren't interested. I don't suggest it means a great deal. When a man tries to remember a casual incident that happened 20 years ago, you can't build too much on it. But it offers attractive speculation.
What about Baskul?
Baskul was hopeless, and Peshawar was worse. Nobody could tell me anything except that the kidnapping of the aeroplane did take place. Then I tried to trace the fellow Barnard, but found his past history so mysterious that I shouldn't be surprised if he was Chalmers Bryant, as Conway said.
Did you try to find out anything about the pilot, Talou?
I tried, but it was hopeless. But I did make one rather quaint discovery, and one which I could have made just as easily without leaving London. There was a German professor at Jena who took to globetrotting, and who visited Tibet in 1887. He never came back. His name was Friedrich Meister.
Good heavens. That was one of the names Conway mentioned.
Yes, though it may only be a coincidence. It doesn't prove the whole story by any means.
But it's odd.
Yes, it's odd enough.
Did you succeed in tracing any of the others?
No. It's a pity I hadn't a longer list to work on. I couldn't find any record of a pupil of Chopin's called Briac, though of course that doesn't prove there wasn't one. Perrault and Henschel proved equally impossible to trace.
How about Mallinson? Did you try and find out what happened to him and the Chinese girl?
My dear fellow, of course I did. The awkward part was, as you perhaps gathered from the manuscript, that Conway's story ended at the moment they were about to leave the valleys with the porters.
Yes.
After that, he either couldn't or wouldn't tell me what happened. I feel we can guess at some sort of tragedy. The hardships of such a journey would be perfectly appalling. We shall never know exactly what did occur, but it seems tolerably certain that Mallinson never reached China.
Poor chap.
I made all sorts of inquiries concerning the shipment of goods across the Tibetan frontier, but at all the likely places I drew complete blanks. Then I tried at Tatsianfu, where the Chinese coolies from Yunnan transfer their loads to the Tibetans. There was absolutely no record of Conway's party arriving at all.
So, how Conway reached the mission hospital at Chungkiang is still unexplained.
The only conclusion is that he wandered there, just as he might have wandered anywhere else. It's all really an exercise in the balancing of probabilities. I must say the scales don't bump very emphatically either way. Of course, if you don't accept Conway's story, it means you either doubt his veracity or his sanity. One may as well be frank.
I believe his experiences during the war had a marked effect on him.
Yes, he was a good deal changed by it. You can't subject a boy to 3 years of intense physical and emotional stress without tearing something to tatters. Well, there it is. Oh, but there is one last point that I must mention. And perhaps in some ways it's the oddest thing of all.
Oh?
It came out during my inquiries at the mission, when I asked about the manner in which Conway had reached the hospital first of all, whether he'd been alone and so forth. Well, I was on the point of giving up when one of the nuns remarked, "I think the doctor said he was brought here by a woman." But that was all she could tell me. The doctor had by now left the mission to work in a big hospital in Shanghai, so I went there. It was just after a Jap air raid, and things were pretty grim.
I am sorry to have kept you waiting, Mr. Rutherford, but as you see, there is much to be done.
Indeed, and I'm sorry to disturb you.
Oh, no.
But I promise not to take too much of your time. I'm seeking information about my friend Conway.
Oh, yes. I remember very well. The Englishman who lost his memory.
Yes.
But how can I help you?
Was it true that he was brought to the mission hospital by a woman?
Oh, yes. Most certainly by a woman. A Chinese woman, a Manchu.
Ah. Can you tell me what you remember about her? Anything. Anything at all?
Oh, I remember that she had the fever and died almost immediately. I am sorry that is all.
I see. Well, thank you for your help. Oh, just one thing. About the Manchu woman.
Yes?
Was she a young woman?
Young? Oh, no. She was most old. Most old of anyone I have ever seen.
A Manchu woman? But surely...
A woman. Most old of anyone I have ever seen. Poor old Conway. Still searching for his ultimate dream of Blue Moon.
Do you think he'll ever find it?
Who can tell?
And that was the final part of Lost Horizon by James Hilton. In it you heard Derek Jacobi, Andrew Branch, Alan Tilvern, Carol Marsh, John Livesey, Sean Probert, Alaric Cotter, John Bull, Garard Green, Alan Wheatley, Pick Sen Lim and Crawford Logan. The pianist was Anthony Mile and it was dramatised by Barry Campbell. The producer was Graham Gould.